Hey, you, skip to this timestamp on screen if you wanna skip the intro. Free at last! Oh, viewers, now dawns upon thee a new episode, and thy tech shall improve before the style meter. Watcher of YouTube, my gratitude upon thee for clicking on this video. But we have a job to do, and the next course of action is to continue. Hey there. Sorry if that act was a little bit long. However, you likely clicked on this video for the tech, right? Well, I'll have you know, we're getting into it. But first, what is Ultrakill? If you know, skip to timestamp on screen. Oh yeah, side note, there's gonna be a lot of skip to timestamps on screen because there's a lot of beginner stuff. If not, well, Ultrakill is a skill-based ultra-violent FPS game that has a 90s style gameplay similar to Doom Eternal, and it may have a little gore. Now, this part is for beginners, so scram to the screen timestamp if you're already okay at the game. God, I worded that badly. Okay, first part. How to kill enemies stylishly! Okay, so you know about the coins from the marksman, right? We can do some interesting stuff with it, such as... Yeah, you can do that. And it deals a lot of damage. But I bet you already know that, right? Also, you can do this. But you also knew that, right? If you don't, play the game more. And experiment, of course. However, back to the point. Now, I may be ripping this off the wiki, but you most likely don't like to read, do you? You silly goober. So I decided to read it to you. Okay, now that you know the first stuff, assuming you're non-intermediate at the game, we can start with the complex things. Actually, this video's obviously gonna be all the complex things. Well, you know how you can use hit-scan weapons like the rail cannon and the revolver shots to the coin to do various things, right? Well, basically, we can do that. This is called a chargeback. It happens when a hit-scan attack from an enemy hits a coin, in which case, that happens. Also, new style bonus. Now, this can be done on 3 enemies. Okay, now I hear what you're saying. That's too little. Now, however, these 3 enemies are majorly overpowered to charge back. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, these 3 enemies are the Sentry, the Malicious Face, and the Ferryman. Now, this is a guide, so I'm going to show you how to do this. The Sentry, when it aims, put your crosshair on the line that the Sentry shoots at nearly 45 degrees and toss a coin. Now, you can do it consistently in the air, on the ground, or in high-speed goober activity. Now, for my boy Maurice, aim your crosshair at his mouth while he's charging his explosive beam, and bing bang bong, he dies. The end. Wait, why am I Australian? Okay, let's continue. And now for the Ferryman. When in a place the Ferryman can't reach, or if playing on brutal difficulty, the Ferryman will start to spin his big aw spoon, and a transparent cylinder with various effects will track you slowly. Keep in mind that it is kinda slow, like the immortal snail that will kill you. So you have to be careful with this. Now, when there's a blue flash in the sky, lightning will strike. However, if you toss a coin, you will get Ride the lightning! Now, we only talked about the coins, right? Well, so let's talk about the shotgun. So first, the simple stuff. Shotgun swapping. Easy, effective, easy to master. I just said that twice.
What a segment.
Just get used to hitting a button after a button over and over again. Same thing as a projectile boost. Wait, what? Oh, our time's running out and our editor's getting lazy? Okay. Now, since this video is getting too long and my couch potato editor is lazy as hell itself with providing itself with entertainment, shut up! I'm just gonna... So, projectile boost. Punch plus M1, easy as hell. Second, pump charge. Pump the shotgun full of heat until it flashes red. Then, shoot plus dash. If you get damaged, practice till you don't. Okay, nail gun. Now and now. Now, the nail gun. Unfortunately, there isn't much to talk about this as it's not a versatile... Okay, anyway, so the magnets you shoot from the attractor nail gun, right? Well, you saw for yourself. Now you can do this about 3 times, but you can also freeze the rockets to completely bypass that. Excuse my demonstration, I wasn't really thinking. I was thinking that. Now, the next trick. Kind of only works for lightweight enemies, but it's still useful nonetheless. Catapulting. So, attach a magnet to a wall or something, and shoot nails at Schism Boy or someone else, and anyway, you can do this too. Pretty easy. If that felt vague, complain to my couch potato editor. Also, you can do this with the overheat nail gun. Just swap it, overheat sink, and you got it. Again, excuse my demonstration. I was trying this stuff first because I didn't know. You probably don't know either. Now it's time for some fun stuff. Oh wait. Oh well. In that case, I'm gonna go in depth into this because there isn't much to explain. So in that case, the rail coin. Combined with the marksman's revolver coins, the electric rail cannon's limitless capacity to pierce through foes can produce a devastating damage setup. The player can have the electric beam strike an enemy twice, with the second hit dealing more damage. Aiming the rail cannon to hit the coin through the enemy, you can triple the damage output of a single shot. Some players may even choose to set up the rail cannon so that they can hit a coin behind an enemy with its electric beam, let it lock onto the coin or coins in front of the enemy, and then lock back onto the enemy. Now, the core nuke. A core is fired from the core eject shotgun to execute a core nuke. And with specific hit scan attacks, such as a shot from a malicious rail cannon or another core or rocket, converted by the impact hammer to a hit scan. However, because of its fire speed and lack of setup or prep, the malicious rail cannon is nearly always used for core nukes. One of the most volatile tools for providing quick burst or damage or quickly eliminating huge groups of enemies. A core nuke is the largest explosion that the player may produce alone. It deals 13.25 damage to enemies upon impact. Okay, rocket launcher. Here's a good one that's surprisingly rarely used. The rocket launcher. There are a lot of techniques, so I'll go over this quickly. First off, freeze frame. Freeze rockets midair, right on them, you get the deal. SRS cannon. Shoots cannonballs with alt fire and bounces off enemies if direct hit, but destroys itself if not. It can be parried to deal extra damage, however it will destroy it on hit whether or not you hit an enemy. Fire starter. As I said earlier, it shoots oil, it can burn enemies, oil up enemies, and make them suffer and burn. Now, let's see the freeze frame. The harmless explosion it causes when no enemy can be used to ride on the shockwave. It can be used to slide as well as to close gaps. But another technique involves the whiplash. In this case, you need to be high up and you need to mouse button 1 plus R to ride on it. There's a harder version of this that uses a dash to mount on the rocket without whiplash. And you have to wild mid-air by freezing a rocket and at a slightly downward angle right before dashing forward and unpausing the rocket, the player can reset their momentum and allow the rocket to fly right under their feet, allowing the player to mount a rocket from mid-air and ride it. Though while costing a stamina bar and being considerably more difficult to execute, it has no potential to backfire and on the player and is very quick to perform. Now, here's a tactic. When the whiplash hooks a rocket, the spear will not stop and will keep traveling forward and connecting other objects, including other rockets. You see where I'm going with here? By launching rockets in a line and attaching them to the whiplash hook before pulling them back and rethrowing the hook to push them again, rockets can be stacked up to 5 times to create a dense explosion on impact. Hooking a cannonball with the whiplash also does not stop the spear from poking more projectiles. Juggling cannonballs long enough, which is considerably hard since I tested this myself, for another one to recharge allows the player to hold multiple cannonballs at once, to either impact enemies, detonate all at once with the electric rail cannon, or both if none of the balls have made an impact or have been boosted. This, like other whiplash juggles, can be used in conjunction with one another. However, a whiplash hook can only hold up to 5 cannonballs or rockets, capping the possible damage. But take this with a grain of salt because I did rip this off the wiki. Alright, and that's about it. Wait. You're saying we haven't talked about one yet? Oh yeah! Oh god, this is video. Oh god, this video is a long one, huh, guys? Anyway, let's talk about fist. Or arms, whatever. Anyways, the feedbacker. Blue arm, parry and punch things, the default. And then the knuckle duster. Knuckle blaster. You get this from defeating my boy V2. Can't parry but does considerable damage. You can punch light and medium enemies into the air. And it produces a shockwave when you hold down your punch key, whatever you binded your key to. Useful for insta-killing Phil. Oh, and the shockwave and knuckle blaster break the Gutterman's shield very easily. And then the whiplash, again from V2 when he goes splat. This can grapple onto stuff, even your rockets and physical projectiles. Light enemies get pulled to you, and medium and heavy get you pulled to them. Now you can do several things with these arms, such as projectile boosting, saw blade punching, punching coins is very required if you want to know why I recommend watching this guy's video, and punching a screwdriver drill out of an enemy. It also resets the timer if it hits another enemy. Very useful. Also, you can redirect a drone into a group of enemies and watch them go boom! And many more. Alas, I'll have to end it here. We've done a lot of work, and both me and my couch potato editor are very tired. So that's where I'm heading off. Remember, always keep learning new things. There are many more tactics in Ultrakill I have yet to explain. So be sure to always keep innovating and never stop learning. That's all, folks. Until next time, goodbye, fellow Ultrakillers.